This conference will now be recorded.
So we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes, then we'll start.
Yeah, no issues, no worries. I can interact with the participants in the meantime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
So can we have a brief round of introduction with the participants, those who are present, so that in the meantime we can then start, or you want to wait, just wait.
Sir, we'll wait for 2-3 minutes. Let all the participants join, then we'll start, sir.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Yes, good morning, all. Myself, Mandeep Kaur Khosa, Assistant Professor, Department of Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College, Ludhiana. Today, I'm going to introduce and welcome Mr. Sony Goyal. Mr. Sony Goyal, an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, is a founder of social organization Prayaas. He is also working as a director at My Career Bathinda to provide quality education and guidance for success-oriented careers. Before getting into social entrepreneurship, Mr. Goyal has worked with Godrej Group as state head. He also teaches courses on market research and self-development in various renowned management institutes in India. He has also conducted numerous FDPs and PDPs for faculty and organization. Presently, he is also acting as system and management consultant to management education institutes. Mr. Goyal has founded a unique course to excel in life and career named IXL. He loves to write poetry and guiding individuals to shape their careers. He is expert faculty of quant and DILR area. He has helped 100 plus students getting into IIMs and other top B schools. He himself has cracked CAT 10 times while scoring 99 percentile each time. In Bathinda, he has cracked PCS Civil Service CSAT paper while scoring highest marks each time. He has conducted various career development programs and motivational seminars for students across the streams at different levels of education. He has ignited more than 70,000 students so far through 400 plus seminars on how to excel in career and life. He did his basic schoolings from school in village and went to do engineering from Slet Langowal. During his engineering, he taught needy students and gave tuitions to juniors. While cracking CAT in first attempt, he got into IIM Ahmedabad and excelled in academics and extracurricular activities. Here he got inspired by Professor Anil Gupta to work for the society, and he, along with his seniors at IIMA, he started working for development of children, which till date has served more than 1,000 students in getting into mainstream from slums of Ahmedabad. He started Prayaas International School for underprivileged children, which today serve more than 300 students from slum area. We had welcome you, sir, for the session today. Mr. Sony Goyal, Managing Director of Career Founder Prayaas, will be taking a lecture on teaching as a new normal in learning. As we all know, sir, your lectures are very interactive and motivational, as I have attended your last lectures also. So hoping for the same for this lecture. We welcome you, sir, for the session.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all the participants. A very good morning. Dr. Nadeep, can I see everyone here on the screen? Is it possible to see all their charming faces, blooming faces?
Please switch on your cameras. Dear participants, please switch on your cameras.
I can see you, from, last 10 minutes you are here, right? I love people who come early, right? Gurjot Kaur Walia ji, welcome.
Richa, Dr. Vipin Kumar ji, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Dr. Shruti Agarwal, Dr. K.H.K. Jha. Please switch on your cameras.
So, hi everyone. For me, those students who will be able to switch on the video are present in the class. Others, whether they exist or not, it will not make much difference to my learning and your learning. So it will be great if you can, please switch on your videos. Others, Mandeep ma'am, can you please, Navdeep ma'am, give attendance, and they can do whatever they want to do. They need not just log in and time pass for the lecture, right? Will that be okay? If somebody is engaged somewhere, then it is perfectly fine with me. It's okay, right? Whosoever is free to attend the FDP, we can continue then. So we have two participants, Gurjot and Rahulji, and Ma'am Navdeep and Mandeep. 4 participants. But I can see more than 20 here. Good morning, Dr. Vipin Kumar. Good morning. Dr. A. Muhammad Yasir. Good morning. We are in a new world with new challenges, right? So maybe Early morning session, this is usually, you know, we face this challenge. Camera issue, Dr. Vandana Mohindru. Okay, his voice is okay, Dr. Mahindra. Dr. Vandana, can you speak it out? Good morning, Dr.
Yes,
Vandana.
sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. You can see the video, you can see the voice, you can hear the voice,
Yes,
everything
yes,
is
yes,
clear.
yes. Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Great, 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 great. So next class, next session, I would expect that your camera issue is resolved, right?
Okay, sir. We'll try.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a problem with my phone only. I'm also not opening my camera during my classes also because there is some issue from last 1 week. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, it's a long time because in today's world, it should be done, solved in one day max, right?
I know, sir.
Anyhow,
I know, sir.
it's okay. Yeah. So, so let me start, you know, by just assuming a hypothetical situation, right, Dr. Rahul ji? Can I say Dr. Rahul if you are? Uh, Aapka voice, your voice is not coming, sir. Rahul ji, your voice is not coming. Yeah, not yet. Um, right, ma'am Gurjot Kaur, is it okay? Voice and audio okay?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah. Uh, Mandeep ma'am, Rahul ji, आपका voice नहीं आ रहा है. Maybe you are trying to speak, but we are not getting the voice.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Am I audible now, sir? Professor Goyal?
No, no, very much audible. Very much audible. Yeah, earlier there was some voice issue.
Yeah,
Ji.
yeah. My name is Dr. Rahul Gupta. I'm working as associate professor at Amity Business School, Noida, Amity University.
Great, great, sir. Because somehow I felt like addressing you as a doctor, right?
And I have done my FDPM from Ahmedabad only in 2012.
Great. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, amazing,
So
sir.
I was very happy that listening you are working with Professor Anil Gupta. I have attended his lectures. Was still
Right,
remembering after 8 years.
right, right, right. Because Professor Gupta has impact on so many people, and his words are
Yeah.
really, you know, inspiring and thought-provoking. Right.
Sir.
So, shall I start? Because it's very difficult for me to, you know, start the class. Okay. So. Let's imagine, you know, a situation we are in. We no doubt in a new normal. We are no doubt in a new normal. Most of the universities, colleges are operating in this mode only, and the challenge we are facing right now is the same challenge is being faced by you know, everyone around the globe as far as online tutoring, online teaching, online coaching is concerned, right? So before we go online, you know, like today we are interacting. I think, if we talk about old system of taking classes, can we imagine a class without classroom? Can we imagine a class without what we say, um, benches? Can we imagine a class without whiteboard? Maybe not, right? So when it was a custom to get education under a tree, then all these things were not required, right? Neither we need benches for classroom, neither we need blackboard or whiteboard, right? Or neither we need the comfort of AC and other thing. But in last 3-4 decades, it becomes quite normal to expect benches and your a good environment and free from noise thing in the classroom, isn't it? This is the shift has happened from Gurukul system to so-called modern education system, where we have a classroom teaching program, right? Where we invite people from across the world, across the country, across the states to one place and make them study, isn't it? So these things become, and then there were another time when we say, okay, projector is must. You should have a projector in the class. You should need to have teach through PPTs, right? And then you need to have audio visual enabled classrooms. Now coming to today, when we talk about 2020, maybe we need to move a step ahead and we need to make online thing a new normal, right? Because we don't have a choice as on date. And as far as future is concerned, right, we may like this thing very much because the level of convenience attached to it and the level of enjoyment attached to it, right? So can I just see all the participants typing good morning in the chat box, so at least I know that they are present or not present? Can we know the participants? Dr. Vandana, I know, and Rimal is there. Dr. Vipin, Gurjot Kaur Walia ji is very much live in front of me. Yeah, Dr. Rakhi Arora, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Vanam Rachita, good morning, Vanam. Three replies so far. So this is what student can do with us. They can just log in and move away to some other place. Yes, ma'am, Walia. I am perfectly fine if somebody if somebody is mopping at your back. It doesn't create disturbance, but not being present is not acceptable to me at all. Dr. Mandeep and Professor Mandeep, Dr. Navdeep, can I have your attention, please? Dr. Navdeep and Dr. Mandeep. Gurjot ma'am, in the meantime, can you share some of your experiences? Because I had to call.
Sir, I'm working as assistant professor in electronics and communication department of Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College.
Yeah,
And
great. Yeah.
yes, it's been 10 years over here. After my post graduation, I'm working here only. It's been 10 years till now.
Great. I like the your auditorium is so beautiful, and I had opportunity to interact with students 2 years back. In fact, 1.5 year back, precise. Right. It was amazing experience to interact with them on the induction program. Right.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So we have three people live with us. Dr. Rakhi Arora, can I have few words of introduction from your side?
Yes, very good morning.
Good morning, Ji. Good morning.
I'm Dr. Rakhi Arora, having 10 years of teaching and corporate experience. I have worked with various private institutions, and I have completed my PhD and MBA and UGC NET as well.
Great.
My core area is finance. And
Okay.
exploring some of the research finance as well.
Okay, great. Finance was one subject we used to fear a lot. The ratios and right. And in fact, student really fear.
Cash flow statement, ratios, comparative. Yeah, sir, that's what.
Right. And there was something called beta,
Yes, sir, that is in portfolio management.
Portfolio.
For the calculation of risk, yes, portfolio management.
Yes, absolutely. So where are you based out of?
Sir, presently I'm working with Chandigarh University in Punjab.
In Punjab, right. Very big campus. I know, very big campus,
yes.
Huge campus, right? Yeah. Amazing environment. Yeah. Dr. Vandana. Yeah, great. So, Dr. Vandana. So can you, Dr. Rakhi, can you please switch on your video so that it can be more interactive?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Ji, ma'am, there is a participant with the name of Vanam. Can we have your introduction, Vanam? Yeah, Dr. Nadeep or Dr. Mandeep, Professor Mandeep, can I have your attention, please? I think this is the biggest challenge we are facing these days. Yeah, ma'am, I was, waiting for you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. So I would request, if we can terminate this session, because there are no students and no coordinator to take care of this. So it's,
So,
to
sir,
whom should I?
I have some work. That's why I need to go before that.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I do understand.
here.
I do understand that, but I cannot see anybody. I cannot listen anybody. So we can keep it some other time.
But there is no fault from my side. I am
See,
there.
I'm not saying on your side. I am happy with keeping one
sit over
student
here.
also. No. I will take session for one person also, right? Throughout, maybe for 1.5 hours. But that one person should be with me, right? For next 70 minutes.
Okay, sir. I am there.
So we are here.
Yeah. So, ma'am, it's fine. See, can we have the participants which are participants be here and others may please leave, right? I should not see 19 joining here, right? I'm happy with one student, right? I'm happy to terminate the session also. But if it is
We all are here.
ma'am, but I cannot see you, I cannot interact you. That's the problem, right?
Maybe network problem is there, I think.
We need to first resolve the network issue, ma'am, with all due respect to you, and then we need to get to the session. If we cannot have a good network, we first fix that up. We are in 21st century. Let us, how if we as a teacher are not able to fix up our network and other things, I don't expect our students we will be able to, take it to them to the next level. right? I beg your pardon, everyone.
Requested to everyone on our WhatsApp group in the morning, early morning. Please be there before the session. Please be there.
Ma'am, no, ma'am, Dr. Navdeep, ma'am, I'll tell you, what can be the way out. Whenever we maybe enroll participants, we can have this as a condition, right? That for some of the lectures they cannot bunk the lectures, right? For some of the sessions. Otherwise, there is no point in listening to whatever it is. It is an interactive thing. Teaching, learning, it's in a two-way process. It can never be one-way process, right? Otherwise, YouTube has enough content to make anybody, anyone can do anything with the knowledge available on the YouTube, right? So maybe last time also I faced the same problem, right? Because I'm happy with Rahul ji, Gurjot and ma'am. 4 of us, we will have session for 1 hour, right? No issues as such. But somebody who is not here, I cannot see, I cannot Nibidita Malik says good morning, ma'am. Yeah, now only 4 people replied. Ma'am?
Sir, previous 3, sir, good morning, all of you, sir and madam. So this is Nivedita from West Bengal. So yesterday and the before yesterday, I always interact with the faculty. So definitely, sir, we people are there, and you please continue the session, sir. Definitely, we will interact.
Okay, ma'am, can you see the chat? Navdeep, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the chat? Now I would say people to write happy birthday. Those all will write happy birthday shall remain in the class, and others please to be removed from the class if you want me to take the class. So good morning participants and happy birthday to you all. To stay in the class, please do type happy birthday in the class. Right in the chat box, please do type happy birthday. So happy birthday Rimel, happy birthday Rahul, happy birthday Dr. Navdeep, happy birthday Gurjot Korwalia. Yeah, Dr. Vandana, happy birthday. KK Jha, happy birthday. Yeah, right, 7 of you. Great. So these 7 people, I will be taking session. Rest can be very well taken off. Dr. Navdeep, is that fine?
Sir, I already told in the chat box in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. No, why to do in the chat box in the WhatsApp group? See, I am not able to understand. We have a platform, right? Here they are supposed to be here. Like I need to be here, isn't it, ma'am? To take the lecture. I need to be physically present, no? Mentally present, I need to come up ready, right? I'm sorry, really sorry. मैं आपकी हाथ जोड़ के Dr. Shruti Agarwal, happy birthday. Late reply. I want quick reply. I want to be interactive, 100% interactive, where you don't feel the difference and you feel the difference after the session. कि हमने कोई session लगाया था. It has made some difference to your life. Otherwise, just attending a session will not serve. Dr. Rakhi Arora, good to see you, doctor. Yeah, great. So we have now 4 participants. राहुल जी चले गए अभी. के झा, प्लीज टेक द क्लास. सर झा साहब, मैं मना नहीं है, मैं क्लास लेने के लिए आया.
Professor, I have not left. I have just switched off the camera because of the bandwidth issue. Because my daughter is also attending classes and another mobile is also on the Wi-Fi.
Right. Let's okay, great.
Bandwidth is a big issue these days.
Actually, Professor, there are 4 devices working on the same Wi-Fi.
Yeah, bandwidth consumption is a big issue these days.
Yeah, it's a issue. It's an issue, but I'm a bit worried about the adjective big. Right? It's an issue. I don't deny that. But I think if willingness is there, then solutions are there. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती, और हम चाहें कि प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है तो not an issue. Right? And yes, there can be emergencies. I am taking online classes from last 9 months without even a single day break. I do face network issues, but only 3 days in last 9 months. Right? Thank God to the government of India. I'm getting so good internet at very cheap price. it is unlimited 50 Mbps at just 600 rupees. I'm sorry, right? If you know, in our country is not providing that level of internet, right? Is that really the issue? Is that really the issue?
No, well, really, what I believe is that, when I am taking,
Like, will you be able to listen to me if I switch off my camera? Will you enjoy that much? Tell me this thing. No.
online class.
Dr. Walia, do you agree to this?
This students are
जी वाले मैम
yes,
फोन से प्रॉब्लम आएगा ही आएगा. वाले मैम is attending from phone, I suppose.
हाँ जी सर वो हो गया, वो एक्चुअली डिपार्टमेंट का कॉल आया सी.
जी. तो अगर क्लास में हमारे स्टूडेंट का कॉल आ जाए तो हम क्या करेंगे?
क्या सर?
If we get a call, our student gets a call during the class, what should we do? वो बोले पापा का फोन आया.
So we will not allow.
Should we allow our students, bhai, you go outside, take call and come back?
No, we don't allow.
We don't allow, then how can I allow?
Sorry sir, sorry.
No, it's not about sorry. We need to, you know, I'm really concerned about the, you know, the outcome of any of the discussions that we will have, right? Because you go for 2 minutes, I go for 2 minutes, all 30 participants go blank, isn't it?
Yes sir.
I take class of 120 students, I don't see even a single missing the class, single camera switch off. I have 4 screens put on in my front of me, right? So that I can see all 120 together, all 4 screens. It's very much possible. Or मैं IT का बंदा नहीं हूँ. I'm not a technology person, right? Dr. Inderpreet Singh Dhanwa ji, welcome, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ji, ma'am. Good morning, and wish you a very happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, sir. Happy birthday to you also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. You know why happy birthday? I said why happy birthday?
Yes, sir. Because every day is a new journey.
Yeah, it's a new journey, and I tell you a secret also, right? So I should not ask your age, but let me guess it. It is 18 years, right? So.
Oh, thank you.
So to say the average Indian age is X, we assume it to be X. So, ma'am, you are left with X minus 7, X minus 18 years, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a harsh fact. It is a harsh fact, but it is true. And today is first day of rest of our life. I'm pretty sure all of us are choosers. All of us have achieved, accomplished enough in our life. In this corona, in this lockdown, the people who were migrant laborers, the people who were homeless, the people who are daily wagers, they suffered the most. Except that everyone has enjoyed holidays, isn't it? So we are blessed to be sitting in a cozy rooms with this thing, and we now need to live life on our condition, our terms. कब तक ये जिंदगी किराए की जिंदगी जीते रहेंगे? If you find something wrong, it is wrong, and we should dare to call it wrong, isn't it? So मैम नवदीप, लास्ट टाइम भी बात हो रहा है क्योंकि मेरा कहानी वहीं चला जाता है. एज ए टीचर, when I see my student not doing good, I find myself at a fault, because my duty as a teacher, as a trainer, as a coach is to bring best out of the people. And guys, I know this is
so sorry to tell you, today we are having induction program in our department. that is through online of MBA students. So I would request you to please allow me to attend the same. They are going to start at 10.
Can we reschedule the session? See, we are people of management.
Sir, I cannot reschedule the session as per the schedule. But
no, but
please,
you can ask
I'm
a
just
person
telling
to
you the
present.
fact. This is the two duties from my at my end to go side by side, and what to do. You tell me, what should I do?
You should skip one, choose one.
But
And
sir,
always
here the program is going on from your end. Then I'll go here.
Let it go. When we make timetable, I cannot take two classes. For example, I am here taking this class. Can I take another class? No, I cannot take.
Can't sir, but the thing is कि ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਨਾ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ? What to
कहना
do?
कि ਇਹ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਮਲਟੀਟਾਸਕਿੰਗ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਨਾ we are human being, we love to be at one place. We should
I beg to differ, sir. I beg to differ, sir. Especially being women, we are supposed to do multitasking.
Yes,
not
but
in this situation, but maybe not the situation.
There is a
Maybe not
difference between multitasking and being present at two places at the same time. That too physically and emotionally. And anyhow, let us not get into this. When we are in an interaction, any session, I always expect it can be short. Let us keep it 30 minutes next time. Ji ma'am? We can keep 15 minutes. We need not keep 1 hour session, but
sure.
But even if it is 15 minutes, it has to be pure, where I interact, we interact, and we disseminate the knowledge, we disseminate the thoughts, and there is exchange of energy, exchange of ideas. Otherwise, we are just completing the task. This is done, this is done, this lecture is done, this lecture is done. No, we are not here to complete the task. यूं तो हजारों ख्वाहिशें अधूरी रह जाएंगी रुखसत से पहले, पर शिकवा तुमसे ना मिल पाने का होगा. अगर हम खुद से ही नहीं मिले पूरा जीवन निकाल दिया तो जीवन का फायदा नहीं है. Before we say final goodbye, it is very important that we make sure that we meet true self of ours. And true self of ours says either to attend it or not to attend it. Either I will take, yes ma'am, I will take the session, or I will not take the session. When I take the session, I am in the session, nowhere else. Is it clear? All 100% energy comes here with full intention, with full focus, with full intensity. If it is not here, we can do it some other time. No issues. I can take any time, ma'am. I'll advise one thing to you. If you take my request, give me any time, half an hour, all those participants who can have their video switched on, right? Any time, ma'am, you can reschedule based on the willingness of the people, right? Let's make it voluntary. Let's not make it compulsory, right? Jab sab free ho, I can take that time session. I can take session at early morning 5:30 also.
Yes, this is the best suited time.
Yeah, can we have
Right
a session
now.
tomorrow at 5:30 a.m.? Those who are willing, they can come, and rest can, just enjoy, their sleep. Dr. Ma'am, will that be fine? Dr. Navdeep? Yeah, I will share a link.
Continue your session, please, sir.
Okay, मैडम चलो अब मेरे लिए बड़ा मुश्किल है ना, मैं नकली नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मतलब मेरे को समझ नहीं आता है. You have attended my last two sessions.
People are sitting over there.
Right. So I will have session for Dr. Gurjot Walia, right? Will that be fine? My only student.
Okay, sir.
ओके मैम, आप रहेंगे ना मेरे साथ अगले 30 मिनट?
Sir, I am also present.
Sir, I'm there too.
प्रॉब्लम जी भी है, तो 5 स्टूडेंट हो गए हैं मेरे लिए. ओके गाइस,
Sir, I'm there too.
yeah, great. So let me start my session. I will take for 30 minutes, ma'am. Dr. Navdeep. Today I'm taking session for 30 minutes. Next time, whenever there is a session, I would request only those participants who have all the technical specifications okay should attend the session. The rest can watch it recorded. You can please record and send it to them. Will that be fine, ma'am? Okay, guys, next 1800 minutes, 1800 seconds is for you, for your life. Dr. Rupinderjeet Kaur and Dr. Walia, it's going to be the amazing day of your life. Why I said so? I cannot do anything about my past. That's gone. मैंने सही decision लिया. I took wrong decisions. Whatever I did, that's over, isn't it? Whatever I did yesterday, whether that was right, whether that was wrong, it is over, isn't it? Yes, no? You can switch
Yes,
on
sir.
your interact continuously. Now,
Yes, sir.
what I am here is with present. What I am here is with present. Today, this very moment, right? And I can only work for my better future, the remaining life of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever is left with me. Over the years, I have done so much. You must have done so much. Starting from your schooling, from your college, your first job, your family, everything. But now next X number of years should be the best years of your life, isn't it? बहुत सारी ख्वाहिशें, मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, मैं गोवा जाना चाहता हूँ, मैं बुक पढ़ना चाहता हूँ, मैं अपनी फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना चाहता हूँ. There are 1,000 things which you want to do, isn't it?
Yes.
But we are not able to do all of them. We are restricted, limited. You know by what? By this, our limitation. I start with a story. There was a boy. This boy was playing in a field, in a garden. And then there came a balloon seller. The balloon seller has balloons of different colors. Amazing balloons. This guy goes with 2 rupees in hand and says, Uncle, I want this balloon. Please give it to me. The balloon seller says, my dear boy, the balloon is of 5 rupees. I cannot give you for 2 rupees. It's of 5 rupees. He said, Uncle, please. He says, no. Boy went away, but he has desire, he has wish to own that balloon, because for him, the balloon was life. हमारे लिए भी, for many of us, there is some balloon which we think, I just want this. मेरी जीवन में ये चीज आ जाए, rest I don't need anything else. This is my balloon. That boy also wanted that balloon that fiercely. Somehow he kept looking at the balloon. Children came with 5 rupees, purchased that balloon, enjoyed. They came with 5 rupees, enjoyed. And he was worried because he was having just 2 rupees. His resources was not enough to enjoy what he want to enjoy. After a certain time, he said he found that most of the balloons are sold, except one balloon, which is of black color. Which is of black. Then the boy goes to the vendor and says, Sir, uncle, this balloon, this black balloon, nobody is purchasing. If you will not sell it, this will go unsold. Can you give this balloon to me for 2 rupees? Smart boy, intelligent boy. And this balloon vendor also liked the smartness of this guy. And he says, okay, I'm ready to give you this balloon because you're a smart guy. Then he took the 2 rupees, gave the balloon. Now the boy got doubt in his mind. He has doubt. He asks the balloon vendor, "Uncle, is this balloon is as good as other balloons? This balloon will fly as high as other balloons." कहानी ऐसा है कि बैलून वेंडर ने इंजीनियरिंग किया हुआ था, जॉब तो मिला नहीं, उसने पढ़ा था थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में that black things absorb more heat. He says, "My dear son, this balloon is going to do much better than others because balloon कितना ऊपर जाएगा, the height achieved by the balloon is not dependent on its color, it's dependent on what is inside." तो आप अपने जीवन में कितना हासिल करेंगे, what you will achieve in your life is not dependent on your degree, on your conditions, on your title. It is dependent on what is inside you. और अगर आपके अंदर बंदे ने डिसाइड कर लिया कि ये सेशन लगाना है, आई वॉन्ट टू अटेंड दिस सेशन, दुनिया की कोई ताकत उसको रोक नहीं सकती। और अगर अंदर से डिसाइड कर लिया कि ये नहीं लगाना है, तो भाई हम बहानेबाज तो पूरे हैं, जबरदस्त हैं, राइट? और बच्चे हमें यही तो सिखाते हैं कि कैसे नए नए बहाने लगाए जाए, राइट? वी आर गोइंग टू बी द चेंज मेकर ऑफ द न्यू सेंचुरी, वी मेक थिंग्स हैपन। और अगर अंदर से वो आ जाता है ना कि ये करना है, वेयर देयर इज ए विल देयर इज ए वे, वेयर देयर इज नो विल देयर कैन नॉट बी अ वे। और जो रास्ते होते हैं ना वो भी बंद हो जाते हैं, लोग बंद कर लेते हैं रास्ते, क्यों? क्योंकि वो अपने अंदर को नहीं पहचान और उसको बहुत छोटा मानते हैं, बहुत छोटा मानते हैं। The day you realized your potential, है ना title for today is unlock the potential. Where is the potential? It's inside. Yes, no? It's inside. Many people realize it, many people let it go. Vastu, Vyakti, Prasthiti. Let me tell you 3 things. Person, Vastu, Vyakti, objects, and Prasthiti, situations. These are the 3 things which causing you problem, isn't it? Either you are troubled by situation, condition, or you are troubled by people, or you are troubled by desire of the objects. These 3 things causes the problem, and the solution lies inside you. अंदर है, अंदर है, अंदर है, क्योंकि ये अंदर की बात है।
Are you talking about meditation?
Yeah. Come again, ma'am.
Are you talking about meditation?
Not exactly. Meditation, we have wrongly understood the word meditation somehow. Meditation is not to do something. It is actually not to do anything. Meditation, I am not going in detail to what is meditation, but I'm talking about the science of problems that affect a normal human being. Now, as a teacher, if I'm not able to transfer my energy to the student will not be changed. If we are just sending information, it is there on the YouTube. Are you going to change that soul? You can only change that soul if you are a soul inside. There is an ignited soul. बोलते ना जोत से जोत चलाते चलो. What does it mean? You are ignited soul. You ignite one more soul. That ignites one more soul. This is how the connection happens. And I say, feel blessed. Whenever I take FDP program, many people, they feel burdened because of the administration task, without this thing. The real task of a teacher, of a guru, of a trainer to ignite is missing. Are you getting? So this profession, I don't call it profession, but let us say call that profession. I would call it service. This service, so-called profession, is no more a passion, it is a burden. Right? इसका आंसर आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? Whenever you come to office, you feel excited, or when you go home, you feel excited. Many people, they feel relaxed when they go back home. They don't feel excited when they come to the institution, right? Coming to the institution, अरे यार जाना पड़ेगा, right? They wait for Monday or they wait for Saturday, right? So there comes, passion becoming profession. Now I'm going to talk things in two ways. This is what I call it as perspective. What do you see? Which color you see?
Black.
You may assume this tablet is black, but here it is
Red.
Red.
Here it is black and white. You may, if I just try, would you say it is a pencil? If I hold it like this, right? You say, sir, you have holded a pencil. Here it will be different thing. Are you getting? And from this angle, this is a different thing. From this angle, this is a different thing. The thing is same, but our perspective changes that. Second thing is time. पहला बोल क्या बोला, समझ में आया? Perspective. Everyone got it? Perspective. You call it attitude, you call it dimension, you change your objective, perspective, the things changed. No, my dear, things remain same, but your perception about the thing changes. नजरिया बदल के देखो, दुनिया हसीन लगेगी. जी राहुल जी. Isn't it? नजरिया बदल के देखिए, दुनिया हसीन लगेगी. Can we make a list of the souls that we have ignited in last education career? Whenever I talk to people, they say, sir, I am teaching from 10 years. I'm teaching from 20 years. I'm teaching from 25 years. Can we count our experience in number of lives that we have changed? ठीक है नहीं? पिछले साल मैंने एक बच्चे का जीवन बदल दिया, मैंने उसके सोचने का नजरिया बदल दिया, मैंने उसको एक बैक बेंचर से फ्रंट बेंचर बना दिया. दिस इज माय लास्ट ईयर, राइट? नहीं, लास्ट ईयर मैं असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर से प्रोफेसर बन गया, एसोसिएट से असिस्टेंट बन गया. इज इट माय अचीवमेंट? व्हाट इज योर अचीवमेंट एज ए टीचर? वी नीड टू चेंज द पर्सपेक्टिव. Why are we attending this FDP program? Are we here to learn something, or we are here to put another tab on resume? Attended this thing. I tell you, CV of successes is not a good idea. जो लोग हैं ना, आपको एक गिफ्ट देता हूं, बड़ा जबरदस्त गिफ्ट देता हूं. करेंगे होमवर्क, करेंगे घर जाके आप लोग. टाइप इट जो लोग हैं. Type it, doctor. Those who are willing to do my homework today. Dr. Shruti Agarwal says yes, yes, yes. Anybody else? Gurjot Kaur Walia ji says yes, 2 yes. Rahul Gupta ji 3 yes. Okay, 3 yes. Ripu Daman 4 yes. 4 yes. बाकी लोग कहाँ हैं? चलिए कोई बात नहीं, 4 ही काफी है. अरे भाई, मैंने तो एक बंदे को कर दिया, मेरा सेशन पूरा हो गया. पर मेरा पर्पस क्या है? ये जो 24 लोग बाकी है ना, ये क्या कर रहे हैं पता नहीं, राइट? वो या नहा है या यहाँ है ना वहां है. Anyhow, I will tell you one thing. First, let me give you my funda for as your homework. First thing, make a CV, curriculum vitae, resume, biodata of your failures. दोबारा बोलता हूं, ऑफ योर फेल्यूअर्स. क्या क्या आप जीवन में नहीं कर पाए आज तक? जो कर पाए वो तो छाप दिया आपने. छाप दिया, नहीं छाप दिया? प्रोफाइल में जब भी रिज्यूम भेजते हैं, यहाँ से वहां जॉब चेंज करना होता है, ये लंबा, ये पेपर लिखा, यहाँ किया, वहां किया। अरे यार वो तो कर लिया, जो नहीं कर पाए उसका रिज्यूमे तो बनाओ एक बार, देखो कितना मजा आएगा। 2 घंटे लगेंगे, खुल जाएगा जीवन, एंड it will be a happy birthday for you, new insight for you. CV of failures. Let's make CV of failures. What I couldn't do. किसी को दिखाना नहीं है, ये अपने लिए है, जीवन मेरे लिए बोला नहीं भाई मैंने। किससे मुलाकात करना है? You have to meet yourself, not somebody else. दुनिया से तो बहुत मिले दोस्तों, खुद से तो मिल लो थोड़ा सा। तो फर्स्ट होमवर्क इज CV of failures. Now, if we learn this thing, perspective, we will change. मैंने बोला ना, अचीवमेंट नहीं देखो जीवन की, क्या देखो, क्या क्या नहीं कर पाए। और आप देखेंगे, अब नेक्स्ट होमवर्क है, इसके साथ वाला अटैच्ड होमवर्क है। वो होमवर्क क्या है कि देखना कि किस चीज ने आपको ज्यादा सिखाया। What you are today is because of your success or because of your failures. What you will find is failures have taught you much more than your success, and that has made you daring. और अगर आप वो नहीं करते तो शायद आप यहां नहीं होते, आज यहां हैं। बहुत पर्सनल भी रहेंगे, प्रोफेशनल भी रहेंगे। प्लीज डू राइट दैट. So that is the first thing. Second thing, my dear friends, time, समय. Why I said समय? Because time changes the way you look at the things. Things remain same. Perspective changes, yes, no? चेंज हो गया ना पर्सपेक्टिव देखने से, चीज बदल गई। टाइम से भी बदल जाता है। जब कोरोना मार्च में था, कोरोना कुछ और था। कोरोना अप्रैल में आया, कुछ और हो गया। अक्टूबर में आके कोरोना बिल्कुल चेंज हो गया, isn't it? You all remember washing vegetables, cleaning our door handles, right? Not touching anybody, even not talking to the neighbor, right? Not coming out in the streets, police beating the people for gathering or even coming out of the homes, stocking that much of the food at home so that we may not die out of hunger. Haven't we gone through all this? Now we are not concerned at all. ठीक है, देखी जाएगी जो होगा, right? कोरोना है, ठीक है, नौकरी चलने दो। But that time we said, अरे भाड़ में जाए नौकरी, भाड़ में जाए रिश्तेदार, I want my life, I want life of my family. Or the families who suffered corona, they saw the real test of relationships. Many places people have not visited their relatives, their neighbor, just because fear of corona. It was true fear. मौत आएगी, सबसे पहले बंदा खुद को बचाएगा भैया। घर में ही आइसोलेट होना पड़ा नहीं पड़ा? For love of our loved ones, for care. इतना बड़ा लंबा डंडी से दाल डालो दूर से, हाँ, किसी को हो जाए। ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर स्टॉक किया लोगों ने। And are you getting it? The corona came in 16th century also. 16th century corona. Newton got isolated. The great scientist called Newton. And that year he did the maximum number of discoveries. And that year is recorded as year of discoveries. The year there was a pandemic and the people were isolated. Can we see this as an opportunity to learn a new way, to reach to the remotest of the child, to make our learning more effective, right? Can I use artificial intelligence, the technology, to make my lectures wonderful, amazing, best in the world? Are you getting it? So these are the two base things on which I'm going to talk my lecture for today. Teachers as learners and a new normal in teaching, right? So guys, I'm going to give you 5 things for today, 5 things for today, which will change the way you are going to live your life as a person, as a profession, as a human being. First thing, change your perspective. Change your perspective. What is that perspective? You are not a teacher, you are not a lecturer, you are a soul to serve and change lives. कौन है आप? आपको भगवान ने मौका दिया है जीवन को परिवर्तन करने का. ठीक हो गया पर्सपेक्टिव वाला पार्ट. second part is time is very short. We have just few years left in this world. Start living today, right? Start living today. किसी को नहीं अपनी उम्र ज्यादा अच्छी लगती. Everyone want, है ना? मैडम खुश हो गए रुपिंदर जी when I said you look like 18 years, 16 years, right? But we know the fact. हमें पता है कि जो यहाँ दर्द होता है, बैक पेन होती है, आईज में प्रॉब्लम है, गैस्ट्राइटिस का प्रॉब्लम, पता है ना हमें सारा. So start living today. Time is very short, right? Point number 3, the most important point for all of us today gathered here. Follow the best in your field. Not to copy, but to see what he's doing. For example, Madam Gurjot Kaur Walia is a lecturer in electronics and electrical, I suppose. Right, ma'am?
Electronics and communication.
Electronics and communication. So she can, just take out the #1 faculty in India on electronics and communication in various parameters, right? In number of publication, who is living today, right? Not somebody who is, and living and active, right? Yes, no? Follow
Yes,
that
sir.
person out. See what that person is doing. See what his research work. One person. I don't want a list of 50 people. Whom you think is the stalwart of that industry. If I'm playing cricket and I think Virat Kohli is the man, so I should follow Virat Kohli, what he is doing, how he is living his life, if I'm passionate about cricket. Right? If I'm a coach, I would see who is the coach, followed by maximum number of people. Let me see what he is doing. What is his habit? Morning, evening, what research he is doing. I need to be master of my field. Are you getting? Master of my field, not just one small, here and there participant in that field. I need to be a prominent in that field, right? Name that person, tick that person, see what that person is doing, and try to bring that person in your class. Kya bola? Try to bring that person in your class. कैसे कर सकते हैं भाई? Write a letter. Sir, I'm taking classes. Nowadays, classes can be taken online. Can you come and take one lecture for my students? First नहीं आएगा, second best आ जाएगा, second best नहीं आएगा, third best आ जाएगा, right? You will have an interaction, one-to-one relationship, and you will be fulfilling your first purpose. You are exposing student to the best of that in the field. माध्यम बन गए ना? गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागो पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो मिलाए. So उस फील्ड का जो गोविंद है, उस फील्ड का जो टॉप पर्सन है, उसको अपने बच्चों को मिला दो ना यार. क्या पता कौन आइंस्टाइन निकल जाए उनमें से, कौन इंस्पायर हो जाए. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
This is what my mentor does it to me, my teacher does it to me. I tell you one small story, share this thing. हम इसको guest lectures बोलते हैं. Are you getting it?
Yes.
But my dear participants, guest lecture should not be just extension of formality. It should be the real value addition. I was in my engineering, and our professor, Professor P.K. Jain, invited an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, right? And that became my inspiration. Professor Jain didn't knew this thing, that his guest can be an inspiration for somebody, right? So expose your students to the top in your field. Is it clear? Point number 4. Point number 4. Here it is. Point number 4 is to your students. When we say teachers and learners, tell them to teach you something new that you have not taught. It's reversing the role, right? Whenever I go to class, I ask my student, what are you going to teach me today? आप क्या सिखा रहे हैं भाई मेरे को? How this can be done? This can be done by making them ask you stupid questions. Making them ask you n number of questions, obviously related to subject. Obviously related to subject, right? Are you getting it? Let them ask you, develop a habit. You will take for 10 minutes one question a day from the student. Any question. Ma'am, what will be the repercussions if we make electric, this transmission wireless? Can electric transmission be wireless? Right? And if yes, how it can be? It can be as stupid as question as this thing. काले रंग की भैंस हरे रंग का चारा खाके सफेद रंग का दूध देती है, उसको पी के हमारा खून लाल हो जाता है. The black buffalo, eats green grass, gives white milk, and our blood becomes red. Why so? That can be a good question. Question can be any question, because Newton, he was not taught laws of Newton by somebody. He asked simple questions. Socrates, he asked simple questions. You talk about the great philosophers, great scientists. What was the quality they have inherent? They ask pertinent questions. Can you ask any question like that? Can you make your student ask that questions to you? And your success will be the day when your student asks a question from your subject that you cannot answer. That day you will actually learn in the class. We say, no, teachers as learners, how we learn. So let us revise 4 things before I go to the 5th thing for today. First thing, ma'am, Rupinder Walia, Gurjot Walia.
Change your perspective.
Means
First,
what?
Means that I should not assume that I am a teacher. I should assume that I am a kind of learner, or I am here to change few lives.
Yes.
In a better.
Point number 2, Shruti Agarwal, Dr. Shruti. Point number 2.
Sir, it is that introduce to the best of the highest possible people in your scenario, in your area.
Madam, आपने कॉपी पेन नहीं लिया, नोट्स नहीं बनाए. I'm not happy. आपने आंसर सही बताया, बट थर्ड क्वेश्चन का आंसर सेकंड क्वेश्चन में बता दी. नहीं?
Sorry sir, नंबरिंग नहीं की, बुलेट्स डाले थे.
Madam Dhanova, what was the point number 2? Unmute.
Sorry, sir, I missed a part of discussion because I had to attend my head for a few minutes. He was saying something to me.
देखिए इसको प्रायोरिटाइज करना है.
Exactly.
Sir, I am in a class. You inform the person, sir, we are in a session. I will come back at 10:30, 10:40 when the session is over. See, if we make learning casual, then learning will be casual.
Actually, sir, I have a class within few minutes, so I have again to switch over. So I cannot leave my students. We
That's
have
what
to
I'm
prioritize.
saying.
Yes,
We have to pick one thing. This is what I'm going to do.
exactly.
Right? So, see, let me take you another example. People say we like multitasking. See, I am sitting with my life partner, let us say. What do I expect my life partner to do? Keep chatting on mobile, keep looking here and there, right? Keep listening songs, and I'm just with no. We want the person to pay attention, right? Undivided attention, isn't it? Because that is when intimacy comes. Otherwise, it becomes a formality. You know, we go to many of our relatives, many places we are just going for formality's sake. And that other person is able to judge, we are able to judge, right? क्योंकि हमारा जो body gesture है ना, वो बोल देता है. Anyhow, point number 2, ma'am.
Time is
Point
very
number
short. Start living
time.
today.
Start living today. Not live for somebody else. आप इतना पैसा है आपके पास जीवन में, आप आपके बच्चे सब सेफ है, right? Corona में those people who were daily wage earner, they were not having PPF, they were not having government job, they were not having degree, right? They were not having their home, they were not having their vehicle. They also survived. So you can definitely survive, and you can survive better. So survival is not an issue. Living is an issue. कब जीना शुरू करेंगे यार? Right? Start living. जो करना चाहते हैं. Point number 3, Dr. Shruti Agarwal. Point number 3, Dr.
Already
Shruti
shared, sir.
Agarwal.
Yeah, I already shared.
Yeah, once again.
Yeah. Yes. That you whatever the best people are there in your job, you should introduce them to your students so that they do not settle at an average thing. They settle at the best. They know whom to look up to.
Right. And you also, get connected to the best in your field. You're not just being somewhere. You try to come, close to that thing. Point number 4. Walia ma'am.
Role reversal.
Role reversal, right? Exactly. Make your students ask good, bad, very bad questions, but related to subject only. Are you getting? Try to push them that they should come up with something new tomorrow. Every day, who is going to tell me something new, something extraordinary, something amazing? What has happened in electronics? Can we talk about a personality? Can we talk about this thing? Textbook knowledge is what we communicate to the student. Let us see what students can communicate to us, isn't it? And that will bring immense development in the students, right? As they will work on that thing, they will think कि यार कल क्या पूछूं मैडम से, कैसा पूछूं, right? What should I, and they will search here and there relevant to the topic. Okay, point number 5 and my last point. The relationship of a teacher and a student should not be limited to the class. If it is limited to the class, then it is gone. अभी कोरोना है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. When corona will be over, when we will have physical classes, take them out for a tea, for a lunch, for a dinner. Incentivize it. The students with 100% attendance will get a chance to have a dinner from me at my home, right? Student with highest marks, student with best questions, whichever way we can interact and try to see them beyond their classroom? Can we talk to them on one day, like once a month? Can we keep a topic which is not my subject? Can I go beyond my subject, where you share your life experiences? But problem happens is many people does this, but they kill the lecture time, and students don't like it. And it can be a voluntary thing. Then you see how you learn, how your students get connected. It's a very simple tool. It's not very difficult thing, but very difficult to execute. Very easy to understand. Student, समझ में आ गया. No. First point has to be there, because their student will come up, sir मेरे मम्मी पापा बहुत लड़ाई करते हैं, पढ़ने नहीं देते, हमारा प्रॉपर्टी का डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है. You're not going to get into all those, this thing, but you are going to provide an ear. Student feels connected, and then our achievement will be in number of lives changed rather than number of years completed. Is it clear? Right. So I'm done with my session. Now I request you to ask me questions. I will take 5 questions today, right? Next 15 minutes is for questions. You can ask any question, 5 minutes for questions. Point number 1, question number 1. It can be related to any subject.
So share your personal experience regarding a non-technical class of yours.
Come again.
So share your personal experience regarding a non-technical interactive class of yours which had helped the student.
Okay. So let me tell you, one of my student, he was like in Ahmedabad, right, doing his this BCom or something, and then he finished his education, came back home, but he found that during the Corona period, he cannot study because the family cannot earn, right? And then he shifted his family, after interaction with me, to Ahmedabad, and that student's father is now doing the tiffin business in Ahmedabad, and he has opened an online bookstore, right? So he is making his living. Next year he may appear for his MBA entrance examination. I just asked him, what is troubling you, and he's helped me him. यार कोई बात नहीं है यार, अगर तुम नहीं दे पा रहे हो, तुम्हारे अंदर इच्छा है, तो you can do it. And you imagine, उस बच्चे के घर पे सिग्नल नहीं आता था, वो धूप में बैठ के क्लास लगाया उसने, गर्मियों के अंदर धूप में बैठ के क्लास लगाया. So that's how it has helped, me to be more positive towards life, and the student also to be right, doing their best. That's one experience. There are number of experience. I can talk about Inderpreet Kaur. I can talk about this girl Sapna Sharma. She's a girl from Mansa. Now she's the first flight lieutenant in the country, right? First flight commandant. She cracked FCAT examination, and she belongs to a family of 5 sisters, and father doing just a menial job, right? And but he determined, and from a district with lowest literacy rate, she became India's first flight commandant. Sapna Sharma, you can Google it, right, and see her story. She was my student. So we can count that way. It helps us, और ये हमें बहुत अच्छी नींद आती है जब हम ये याद करते हैं. And we feel proud that we have really contributed. Next question number 2. Valia ma'am, you are there for the whole class. You can ask 2 questions as well.
So when we give liberty to students, sometimes they don't know what the limits are, or जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि सिर पे चढ़ जाते हैं. How to tackle that?
पहली चीज ये है कि लिबर्टी हमने किस चीज में देना है.
So like you were saying कि हमें थोड़ा इंटरेक्टिव होना चाहिए, चाय पे लेके जाए, डिनर पे लेके जाएं. So
this is incentive based. This cannot be open for everyone, and this is selective. See, let us separate these two things first. When it comes to delivery of the class, my delivery should not be compensated by this. I mentioned this in my lecture also. Many people, what they do is, while in the class, they start their own story. Teachers, they talk about, this, and this. The class timing from end to end should be about class only, nothing else. Nothing else. It's a student-teacher flow of information. Beyond that, you can invite for 10 minutes before the class. So we will love interaction after the class for 10 minutes. Those who are willing to interact, they will interact. Others can leave. Right? I am keeping a incentive that those who will have 100% attendance at the end of the session will have a cup of tea with me. Right? Students, if you face any problem, you can come and talk to me anytime. It's not forced that we have to give them, okay, आओ भाई सब आ जाओ. When we say, okay, batch बना लीजिए, 10 लोग सबने आके पीना है, then they may, misuse of. You have to give it as a icing on the cake, not the cake, whole of the cake. Right? And if you do it with the spirit, if you do it with energy, nobody will take it benefit. जब लोग लंगर लगाते हैं ना, तो ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं कि भाई अगर लंगर लगा दोगे तो लोग खाना बनाना ही छोड़ देंगे. पर अगर ऐसा होता तो ये तो बंद हो जाता कब से. नहीं, कि वो ऑनेस्टी के साथ लगाया जाता है और ऑनेस्टी के साथ ही लिया जाता है. राइट? हाँ, देयर मे बी 1 or 2% पीपल हु मिसयूज दैट. ठीक है, वो चलता है. प्योर तो सोना भी अच्छा नहीं होता.
Sir, can you share some like brief about your Prayaas, like your founder of that? What exactly is that?
See, Prayaas is nothing but I tell you, our country is a country of many extremities. Can I know the literacy rate of our country?
No, sir, no idea.
Any guesses from any participant? There are 31 participants here, right? Any guesses? So 24%, 26% is the illiteracy rate, 74% is the literacy rate. It almost amounts to 39 crore people, which is more than population of entire United States of America, which are illiterate, right? I'm not talking about literate, educated, illiterate people. पढ़े लिखे नालायक भी बहुत है हमारे देश में, बट जो बंदा नाम लिख सकता है और उनकी तादाद ही इतनी ज्यादा है. And today's world without education, it's very difficult to develop a nation. So that is a small effort, making those people who could not get birth in a reputed family, in a middle class, average, above average family, they are, उनका गुनाह सिर्फ एक ही है कि वो एक poor family में on street पैदा हुए हैं. And Prayaas is a small effort to make some of them to get into the school, because when they get into the school, then so many other things happen. Character building, crime will be less. So many good things may happen to their life, vis-a-vis if they don't go to school. Because when they don't go to school, either child labor will be promoted or they will be begging on the street, right? And they are the part of the same society in which we are living. And they are the son and daughter of the same God, right? To which we also belong, right? Last one question, ma'am Shruti, you were also present very actively. So may I have any question from you?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, what challenges do you face while working beyond the normal? Like the normal thing is the normal teaching, the normal way of living. What challenges do you face while working beyond the normal?
There are a lot of challenges. The first one being, those students who are not serious, they get ignored. You have to pay extra effort to bring them into the limelight. For example, we also know in our classes we have one part of the student who are front benchers, another class of the student who are not very much interested in assignments, in studies. Yes, no? So it's easy for now those students to bunk the classes and stay inactive. Right? That is the biggest challenge to ignite them, because when you are in physically in front of them, you can maybe push them much better, right? But in remote, this becomes this thing. At the same time, I see an opportunity also, because as lecture being gets recorded, right? So it's a blessing for a child who is not able to understand in the class, right? So he can watch the video again and again. By putting extra effort, he can, teacher is more available to, I would say, to the student now, vis-a-vis he was available to this thing. But definitely we need to work a lot beyond classes to make class a success. Are you getting?
Yes, right.
Last time it was the student is in the class, your 50% of the job is done. Now you have to make your class good. That's it. Done. Now, even after making your class good, you need to ensure that student is in the class. उसके लिए ground work बहुत करना पड़ता है. And we have to do that. And it becomes many times discouraging for the teacher also, right? When you don't get the response.
Yes, I also use the same methodology of naming my students for them to be more interactive.
Yeah, so we have to go and interact beyond classes, to the student, and we'll see what has happened.
Even in the classroom session, when you name the students, they become more active and they feel that there is a one-on-one teaching going on.
One-on-one is going on, because for us it is not 60 people or 50 people sitting in front of us. It is 50 different souls, and each soul is unique, right? And each has a potential to change the world. कौन पता है उसमें से नेल्सन मंडेला बैठा है, कौन उसमें से आपका महात्मा गांधी बैठे हैं, कौन उसमें से सुभाष चंद्र बोस बैठे हैं? We don't know. And if we see the history, teachers have played a very important role in igniting those people, and we would be lucky if we get a chance to play any of that role, right? Next, last question. Anybody else who was present? Because I could see only 3 people. Anybody else who want to ask the question? We can this, and then we can sign it off. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
Any one-line suggestions? Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
I tell you very honestly, this was not my best, right? You must see my previous lectures, right? I would say this was the lecture which I was at very low, right? And but I tried giving my best in this session, and I expect in the sessions if I have good participants, and I'm going to give it much better shot, right?
Any question from participant side?
Ma'am, we have already shared.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
done, ma'am.
So I thank you so much, sir, for an interactive session. As I told you earlier also, your sessions are really motivating and interactive one. And thank you so much for taking a great lecture today. And we'll be waiting for many more in the future, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
मनदीप मैम, मैं आज दिल की बात कहूंगा आपसे, ठीक है?
हाँ जी, yes, sir.
मेरे को मजा नहीं आया, right? I didn't enjoy it at all, though I tried to fulfill my duty. But again, I feel it is my duty. Maybe next time when you are inviting me, I don't mind with one participant, right?
Okay, sir.
Or participants, whatever is the participants, right? I want them to be there, and whosoever is not willing, please don't push them, because when you don't interact, don't enjoy class, I feel like कि मैंने अपने जीवन का 1 घंटा बर्बाद कर दिया, right?
Yeah. Sure, sir.
No
We'll
doubt.
take care.
Madam Walia was there throughout the session, and but I really feel I would have enjoyed more and learned more. मैं बहुत कुछ सीखता लोगों से interact करके, अगर लोग interactive होते, क्योंकि मेरे को मोनोटोनस पढ़ाने में मजा नहीं आता है, ठीक है?
Right.
और
Right.
मैम जो चीज मजा नहीं आता है मैं नहीं करता हूँ, सॉरी, मतलब मेरे को मन नहीं करता, मेरे को अपने आप पे गुस्सा आता रहता है कि यार मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ ये, राइट?
Right, sir. No, sir, we will take care of it that in future this thing don't happen, and
tell you the
we'll
solution for
plan
this also.
interactive.
मैं
We'll
इसके
plan for more interactive with you.
I can tell you 2 solutions for this, right? One solution
Yes.
is please don't pack this your FDP program. ये बहुत ज्यादा
Right.
congested, लेक्चर पे लेक्चर इतने ज्यादा नहीं लगा सकता है कोई भी, राइट?
Right,
मतलब
sir.
I 4 lectures a day, राइट?
Right, sir.
मतलब जो
Right,
टीचर
sir.
लोग हैं ना आते हैं, उनके लिए 4 लेक्चर सुनना बड़ा मुसीबत वाला काम है, राइट? मतलब अब मेरे को भी आई एम अ टीचर.
Of
This
experience
conference
with
will now be recorded.
and Canada. Her research interest is in the field of development psychology and counseling psychology, and she has been extensively working on adolescent identity issues. She had worked with various ministries in Canada on mental health projects. She worked in Canada with the Ministry of Children and Family Development as a child and youth mental health clinician for a few years. She has also worked as a project lead for Child and Youth Mental Health Collaborative with Canadian Ministry on Drug Abuse Issues. Also, she was an auxiliary constable with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, where she worked on crisis intervention programs and was a part of various advisory committees. She is trained cognitive behavioral therapist from Canada and is working on various counseling projects. Currently, she has been appointed as a coordinator admissions Punjabi University. She enjoys traveling, reading, and poetry. We welcome you, ma'am, for this session and hope this session would be an interesting session for all the participants. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
network connectivity issue.
Anji, good morning again. Can you see me and can you hear me? My question again to the participants and to the organizers.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible and visible too.
Can somebody tell me, because it seriously seems I'm talking. Okay, perfect. My apologies, everybody. The system today, the network has some issues, so my deepest apologies for that. And I will try to do the best of my abilities with the network. Let me see. All right. So thank you for the beautiful introduction. I had planned my lecture. Well, I shouldn't say a lecture because it is more like a discussion on outstanding teacher, on the qualities that an outstanding teacher can have. And can all the participants understand Punjabi as well? जो मैं Punjabi बोलना? You can write in chat box. It will be convenient, I guess, more convenient. Is there anyone who does not understand Punjabi? If I was to speak something in Punjabi. I'm waiting, my dear participants, for the answer. Okay, I've got one. Okay, perfect. So that means I can be bilingual. If need be, I can speak in Punjabi. Just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that. So ਜਦੋਂ मैं सोचा outstanding teacher, I should have a discussion with you guys. My reason for that was that recently there has been one teacher from India that has been awarded, if you would know, 7.5 crores for his outstanding work. So I thought that will be a great place to begin with. And also, my dear colleagues, I wanted to oversimplify things for us. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ teacher ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, it becomes, it's easier for us. Speak in English. Well, okay, concept from Africa. Okay. When we become a teacher, sometimes we totally forget how it is to be a student. But I'm sure right now you can have a feel of the student again, which is absolutely a great feeling. So what is really the purpose of teaching? The purpose of teaching is, the purpose of education, as they say, is not teaching. The purpose of education is learning. So you as a teacher learn, I as a teacher learn. So this interaction between the student and the teacher, that is the education. That is the real learning process. And you know, for me, the purpose was to see how can we go into our lives as a teacher and see and rate ourselves. You know, as I said, that I have oversimplified things to make them fun for you, so that you don't get bored and you feel that there was something that you attained by the end of this lecture, right? So the purpose is not to tell you something which you would already not know, but more importantly, the purpose is to share. The purpose is to bring out that you already have within you. And at any point, feel free to stop me if you have a query, question, or observation. I don't mind that at all. And I will try that at the end of the session, if we have maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to have discussion, or even more. And I'll encourage you to be interactive, because it's been quite a few months that I have been talking to myself on the screen. So it seems that there's something not right, because I get to see myself on the screen and it's like I'm teaching, I'm my own teacher and I'm my own student. And I'm sure you guys would have also gone through similar emotions and feelings. So at any point you want to ask or share your observations, you're very, very welcome. Now somebody has to help me. How do I start my PowerPoint? I try to make a fun PowerPoint so that I could engage you guys. So if the organizers could help me, is my PowerPoint visible in any way? I haven't used GoToMeeting as much, so I'm learning with this. Can I request the organizers to help me for a minute with starting it?
Ma'am, your screen is visible. Just open that PowerPoint from below.
Is that it? You can see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, success from the beginning. Okay, perfect. Thank you. This gives me more confidence now after the initial glitch that we had. So qualities required for an outstanding teacher. And as I gave a disclaimer in the beginning, that this is going to be an oversimplified and maybe a little fun presentation, a little fun thing, so that we are able to gain something and don't feel, oh, that was a total waste of time, not my waste of time and not your waste of time. But I will like to bring out certain things from our lives so that it is interesting. And at the end, we will have something to talk about you. So the first one says that teaching does not always learning. And this is a very, ironical, if you will say, and a very powerful statement. And I will want you to remember it, because at some point during our interaction, I like to call it interaction, maybe we will use it. So do you agree with this? My first question to you, my fellow teachers, is, do you think that teaching does not always equal to learning, or does teaching always equals to learning? Does someone has any ideas on this one already? Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Yadav, I can see the name, so I'm going to randomly ask if you want to speak something. Do you guys think, and if you don't want to have your video open, you can always write something in the chat box. That is absolutely acceptable. Do you guys think that teaching does not always equal learning? Yes or no? Any comments on this one, please? Any comments? Because as I said, I have taught myself enough in the last few months. I will like to have somebody interact with me in this session as well, and preferably have a different point of view. I will only be able to go ahead in case somebody is able to write something in the chat box, or Okay, I have somebody write teaching always equals to learning. Okay,
No,
that
ma'am.
is Dr.
Ma'am,
Jaspreet. Yes, please.
ma'am, actually, Sandeep Singh, ma'am, actually, I don't think teaching is always equal to learning.
Okay.
We are teaching for such a long time, but the learning process is lifelong. And teaching is just a part, small part of our lives also, and the lives of students also.
I appreciate your answer, Dr. Sandeep. And I have somebody saying that teaching always equals to learning. Teaching is always about learning, as this learning is about the education. Okay. What is your take on that, Dr. Sandeep? Would you say that teaching always equals learning, or teaching is not always equal to learning?
Ma'am, going by our scenario.
Should I give you a little example?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, please, ma'am.
Just to rock the boat a bit. This, as we say, because I don't always like people agreeing with one another. I think the idea of teaching is also to have diverse perspectives. And one of the reasons we are teachers is that we can take different perspectives. And we are going to talk about it.
Yeah, ma'am.
So, whatever, whoever your teacher had been so far, have you always learned from them? And this question is for everybody. Without teaching, there is no learning. You are alive. How many of you agree with this? Did you now to
No, ma'am,
make
actually, I
a
don't
stronger
agree with this
point?
statement.
Were you always able to learn everything?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
Whenever actually we were also students, and how much we have learned from our teachers. Simple. Learning is lifelong. That's why I was saying in the start also. It's just getting education is just a small part of our lives. Learning is lifelong.
Right. So, whatever you are saying, it seems that you are agreeing with the statement actually. Teaching does not always
equal learning. I am saying I am totally agreeing with this statement.
You are agreeing with this statement. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your answer. Thank you for starting this discussion. So teaching does not always equal learning. That was a premise I wanted to start with and ask you, do you agree with this? I think some of you do agree with this and some of you do not. Let's see if over the next little while this comes up again. Now my next question, as I said, I'll try to make it more interactive, is okay, a small question for all of you. You don't have to answer this on the chat box, but I really want you to answer this for yourselves. Where do you rate yourself on the trait of an outstanding teacher? On the left side, we have not at all satisfied with my teaching, to on the extreme right side, whereas I'm extremely satisfied and I feel that I'm a very outstanding teacher. Again, I don't want you to answer it on the chat box, but a little introspection for yourselves. And I think one of the reasons we are having such lectures and such discussions is to kind of wake out of our reverie, because we get so accustomed to being ourselves during teaching that we completely forget to evaluate or give feedback to ourselves. So this is really a good point to start with. That is why I said that introspect about it. I want to give you a minute about this, because then we go to something to the next one, which is related to this. Where do you really rate yourself on the trait of an outstanding teacher? Do you think you are an outstanding teacher? Do you think you are not an outstanding teacher? Do you think that you are somewhere there? I really want you to think about it. Can somebody write that write in the chat box that they thought about it? As I said, I don't want a response, but just let me know that if you thought about it or not. Are you guys there? Are you still thinking? Can I get one response at least, please? I just want to make sure that my network hasn't gone blank again and that you guys can still interact. Awesome. Thank you for the response. As we try to do our best, but teaching is always two-way communication. Well, Rimal, thank you for saying that actually, because right now it's important for me also to know that it's a two-way process. Okay. Now, I think the first question, if somebody asked you that are you an outstanding teacher, don't you think the question has to be, let me go on the next slide. What does outstanding mean? Can somebody write a response? What do you mean by outstanding? We say outstanding teacher, but I think we will agree that we first need to have our ideas about outstanding clear. Can somebody write that in the chat box? If you want to speak like Dr. Sandeep did, you are very welcome. But can somebody just mention what do you mean by outstanding? What do you mean by the word outstanding? Okay, so somebody mentioned result. Can I have, it's an English ka word. I think it's, you don't have to be perfect, just kind of interact and mention what do you think, what comes to your mind when you think about the word outstanding. Can we have more responses, please? No, you can only be outstanding if you know what does the word outstanding imply. Oh, doing something different and beyond expectations and giving good results. That's quite a good answer, Rimal. Okay, let's see. What did I write for that? So exceptionally good. Aapne, you've also mentioned it in some way. Excellent. Marvelous. These are some of the definitions of outstanding that emerge if you Google it. So superb, impressive, wonderful, phenomenal, magnificent. So these are some of the words that relate with outstanding. So when I say that I'm an outstanding teacher, so keep these terms in mind because we will be using them in the next couple of minutes. So outstanding, as I said, it could be impressive, it could be excellent, and as Rimal said, something different and beyond expectations. Teacher is not only teach the text matter to the students, whereas inspiring inspiring the students as well. Very good, very good. So now the next question arises, what does a teacher mean? Now you know what does an word outstanding mean, but can somebody also mention teacher ka kya matlab hota hai? What do you mean by a teacher? What is a teacher? What does the word teacher mean? Can I have more responses? Anything that comes to your mind when you use the word teacher. I'm sure something might come to your mind because all of us, in a manner of speaking, are teachers. A guide. Thank you. Dakshinamurthy. Thank you, Dakshinamurthy. Others? What do you mean by the word teacher? good mentor, very good. Dr. Rafat, can we have others also interact? This is the easiest, I think, question for anyone. Give me 2 more responses and then I will move ahead. 2 more people. Let's be a sport. I want 2 more responses at least. Who wants to go next? I'm waiting. Expertise in particular field, who will be helping and guiding us in a better way. That's a very good answer, Rimal. We want 1 more person to answer. What do you mean by a teacher? What does a teacher mean? One more response to go ahead. Let's wake up, my dear fellow colleagues. Hanji, who will want to go next? Let me Miss Dr. Rahul Gupta. I'm randomly going to pick up names now. Dr. Rahul Gupta, are you here? Can you unmute yourself and can you please write that here? Dr. Rahul Gupta or anyone else. I don't want to pick up on one person. Okay, let me go ahead then. So a teacher, if you again Google, you will find a teacher is an educator, teacher is a guide, a tutor, guru in the Indian context, instructor, mentor, one of you mentioned mentor, a counselor as well, teacher is a trainer, a coach. So you see, there are a lot of roles that a teacher takes up. And that is, what Rimal also mentioned, that you have expertise in one field, but it is essentially helping and guiding others in a better way. So in this context, if you look at the word outstanding, which was exceptionally good and excellent and wonderful, and then the word teacher, what do you think the word outstanding teacher would mean now? If you were to join these 2 words together, what do you think this would imply? Would anyone want to give an answer to this, a response to this? It'll be exciting to have your response. Is everybody sleeping or there's somebody who's awake as well? I know that 4 of you who are awake. What about the rest of you? And I'm sure, this gives you an idea how easy it is to be on the other side and mute yourselves, while, on the other hand, there is somebody who's trying to engage a student. So I'm sure, from your own experience, you will gain a lot through these faculty development programs as well. So now the next question arises, do you want to be an outstanding teacher? Now you know what an outstanding teacher could imply, but do you even want to be an outstanding teacher? And if yes, why do you want to be an outstanding teacher? Because even if you are a very effective person, effective in mentoring and teaching, you might still not get a hike in your salary. You will still be paid the same amount of money that you are being paid. And a lot of times, outstanding teachers, they're not even rewarded. Leave aside being honored and leave aside being appreciated for their work, you will realize that a lot of times they just are innocuous and they remain in the shadows and are not even known. So what is the reason if you want to be an outstanding teacher, should you be one? Any response to this one? Any response to this one? Why do you want to be an outstanding teacher? You know, I can just go on and make it look like a lecture, but that is not really what my intention is. I've really worked hard, you know, to have an interaction with my fellow teachers. That means you guys. So if you participate in this, I think it'll be beneficial. It'll be beneficial for you. It'll be beneficial for me as well. But only if you guys are able to engage yourselves. And you know, if you feel that this is something that you don't want, I can totally kind of, you know, shut it right now. And I know the previous speaker also had difficulty engaging the, you know, this batch. So if you don't want, because I don't want to, you know, give my time to people who are not interested in interacting or who are not interested in sharing their knowledge. So it is really, I think, difficult, because it's not like a stats class or a class where you tell them these are the sums and these are the formulae for it, and you go home and practice. Because I value my time, I value my resource. Okay, thank you, Dr. Rafat. If only, you know, you can just keep continuing, like some of you who are, I'll really appreciate if you can write in the chat box. At least I will feel that I'm talking to somebody, because I don't really have to do this. You know, if this is not worth, then I think as a teacher, I need to value my time as well. So anyways, thank you, Dr. Rafat. Would somebody want to mention why do you want to be an outstanding teacher, or at least think about it? Think about it, the reasons why you should be effective, the reasons why you should, you know, be exceptionally good, though the rewards might not be tangible, though nobody will ever notice you, nobody will ever appreciate you, even though, you know, you are putting a lot of work. And I'm sure you must have realized that a lot of times you put in a lot of efforts, you try to go out of your way, but it is not appreciated. And then in the process of teaching, we sometimes give it up. If you remember, during the first few you know, years, or let's say even in the first few months or the weeks of your teaching, you possibly were very excited and you wanted to do so much for the students, and you put in a lot of efforts, and then suddenly you realize that your efforts are not being appreciated, and then teachers sometimes start to take a backseat. All the efforts, all the abilities, all the skills that they have, it takes a backseat, and that hurts. That not only hurts to the person who takes a back seat, as in that teacher, but also takes a lot away from the students as well. So, you know, thank you, Dr. Rafat, for again writing that in the chat box. There have been studies which report that teachers are generally more motivated, excited, inspired to do so much for their students in the beginning. And as the time passes, either they start to burn out, or they kind of, their energy levels to be the same person sometimes decline. And that has a lot of impact, because they feel that their efforts were not appreciated. They feel that as much as they wanted to do, nobody is interested in their ideas, and they give up. Have you ever experienced something similar, where you had ideas and you were excited, you were stoked, and you went to your seniors and you said, you know, hey, you know, let's try this idea out. Let's try this where our students will be more engaged and more inspired. But then you feel that nobody listened to you. And in the process, you said, chalo chodo, you know, why to even bother? I'm still going to get as much salary as I am, so I don't even need to work as hard. So, you know, that kind of takes over us. So the idea is just to have a you know, talk with ourselves, have that introspection, because I come from psychology. So I will surely want to give those ideas, those concepts where you can introspect about yourself and maybe shake yourselves a little bit. If you started with this, with that inspiration, but then over the period of time, it just started to vanish away. Okay, so I don't know what your reasons are to be an outstanding teacher, or if even if you do, but I hope that you thought about this. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Now, I know somebody mentioned in the chat as well. So something similar. A role of an outstanding teacher is to spark their students' curiosity and fuel their love for their learning. The idea is not to tell you कि आप ये, you mug this up. The idea is not to give them only give them notes and ask them to do their best in the exams. And how do you do that? I think the gist of entire teaching learning process is this, that you are able to spark some curiosity, make them question. The something that I did in the beginning when I said is, does teaching always equals to learning? So what did I do? I wanted to throw something so that you are curious or you have ideas in favor of it, and more importantly, ideas against it. Ideas, as much ideas that are in favor are important, the ideas that are against something are equally important, because otherwise the world would just be the way it is. If we have no ideas, new ideas, we will just continue being the people we are. So how can you ignite that curiosity? How can you fuel their love for the learning? And please keep this slide in mind as well, because we will somewhere come back to it. Now, let me talk about Mr. Ranjit Singh Desale, who had won this award. Does anyone know about this person? Have you heard about this guy? Yes, no, maybe. Can somebody write yes or no? I mean, this is the easiest thing. Nivedita, yes, awesome. Anyone else who's heard about this person, Mr. Ranjit Singh Desale? I heard. Okay, great. So let me tell you, and it's very inspirational. And you hear about it, you feel inspired. You feel there is so much that we can do. I must share this, my dear fellow colleagues, that we get so lost in complaining that we totally forget the kind of impact that we can have on the students. Should I share Mr. Desale's story with you? It is an exciting story. Yes. Dr. Rafat, would you like me to share Desale's story with you? Would you guys want me to share the story? It's inspirational. Okay, thank you. So Mr. Ranjit Singh Desale, he won the Global Teacher Prize for 2020, like this year. A few weeks back, he won this prize from a nomination of 12,000 people from all over the world. And you will be very, excited to know the amount of money he won with this prize, which was in Indian rupees 7.5 crores, and which amounts to 1 million US dollars. But when he started, of course, he did not know that this is where he's going to land up. And even more exciting is, right, and even more exciting is the prize money that he won, which is 1 million US dollars. He said half of the money he's going to share with the first 9 finalists who were nominated. Can you imagine? And his story is, Desale works as a primary school teacher in Maharashtra, which is one of the states in India. He works as a Zilla in one of the Zilla Parishad primary schools there. And he wanted to be an IT engineer, but that did not work out. So he came into teaching. And it is very interesting to note that the first school where he taught was in a totally, dilapidated building, which was sandwiched between a cattle shed and a storeroom. So that was the place where he taught first, which was not even like a beautiful, your school with which had all the resources, but a school which was sandwiched between a cow shed and a storehouse. And also most of the students which he was teaching came from tribal communities for whom teaching was not even a priority. They did not want to learn, and the practice of teenage marriage was very common at the place where he was teaching. And as if this was not enough, the curriculum was not in the students native language, which was Kannada, the primary language, so the students were not even able to learn anything. So imagine, coming from a place where there is this divide, students cannot understand you, they don't even have a place to sit, and the students are not even motivated to study, because for them learning and getting education is not priority, and the most of the girls there would get married while they were still teenagers. So imagine that was the place where he started teaching. Now, what did this guy do? Mr. Desale, he first learned Kannada himself, and he redesigned all the textbooks from grade 1 to 4 for the better comprehension. And he also, had unique QR codes so that when children went back to their homes, they could study there as well. And it so happened because that area was more conflict zone area, so there was a what do you call it, terror attack, and the school was shut down for 2 months. So now students, when they were at home, they could still learn, because now they had books in their own language, and they could scan, and they could learn while they were home. Imagine somebody coming from that area and using his creativity and developing problem solving skills and being able to communicate. And because of his efforts, very exciting to know that the number of teenage marriages went very down. So he was interested in teaching, but while he was educating, with that the number of number of these teenage marriages went down, and the literacy went up. The students started learning more, interacting more. So there was a different kind of environment. And with the efforts of one person who did not understand the language, was not even given any resources, but utilized whatever he had. So he was given various awards, not by Indian ministry as well, and then finally being nominated for the Global Teacher Award out of 12,000 nominations world over. And very exciting that he said that I'm going to share 50% of the prize money with the remaining 9 teachers who could not win the prize. So isn't it very inspiring? Do you think this is inspiring story? And do you think that he's an outstanding teacher? Can somebody write yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Who was this who said yes, ma'am? Was it Dr. Sandeep?
Gaurav, ma'am.
Gaurav, okay. Thank you for your response. You have no idea how your yes, ma'am, what it means to me right now. Because as I was telling others, that it really seems that I'm talking to myself. So good to know that there are, people. So, the idea again is to bring back that motivation to ourselves. Because if I am motivated to do something for others, I will be inspired. But if I get resigned to the idea that nothing can happen, my students, so imagine going to a class and saying, oh, my students are not interested in learning, I'm not going to teach them. Wasn't it easier for this guy, for Mr. Desale, not to teach the students? Because the students, for his students, the priority was not learning, the priority was not education. Unko to they wanted to get married and be done, but he went to their level, he found out that what is the problem? The problem is that they don't have resources in their language. So learning the language and developing resources in that language, wasn't that very exciting? So I think that totally was. And I'm sure, if you remember that movie, Three Idiots, do you remember that? And in that movie, what was, the role of Amir Khan? And of course, that's based on a real person, Dr. Wong Chok. And imagine these people, it is easier for them to say that, oh, I don't have resources. But they made sure whatever was available, they made the best out of it. So that, I think, what an outstanding teacher is. And as some of you also mentioned, that being able to inspire others, being able to motivate others. And let me talk about another teacher. I really, like this person, Rosenstein. She teaches history in America, and she won National Award for Outstanding Teacher of American History. And I think, this was exciting because in her history class, not only she was teaching the concepts of history. Can someone tell what else could she have been teaching? What else? Any guesses? And any guess would be a right guess. Any guess would be a right guess. Just try to involve and see. So she still is a history teacher, and she got award for outstanding teacher. But of course, and she teaches grade 8 students, values to the students. Okay. So, Dr. Raki, how she was teaching values to the students was being thoughtful and creative. A special attention to each student. Very right, Dr. Rafat. And how did she do that? How did she provide values to the students? How did she give special attention to the students? Was by bringing the students' talents, the students' hobbies, the students, singing, songwriting, even drumming, photography, any kind of hobby the students had. She said, you have to bring it to the class and let me teach you in that way. So that not only engaged and involved the students, but also helped them learn their own concepts. So I think, that's one of the things, but it again requires a lot of courage to do it. A lot of courage to be able to do something where, it is not the rut. हम कहते रहते हैं कि out of the box thinking, out of the box thinking. But what really is out of the box thinking? What do we mean by out of the box thinking? Let me mute for one. All right, can you see me again and can you hear me again? There was a lot of noise.
Yes, ma'am.
Can somebody say yes and no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, perfect. Today I had to do some problem solving myself because university had some glitch in the network, the university where I teach. So I had to come to a colleague's house to do this, and these were the neighbors' kids who were shouting at the top of their voice because their online class just finished. So I had no idea this is how students enjoy when their online class, they're done with their online class. So fun to watch them. So we keep saying on out of the box thinking, let's be creative, but nobody really implies what do we mean by out of the box thinking? Do we have the courage? I mean, if you were teaching computer science, and then you ask the students, let's go for a photography course, or let's go for a pottery class, or let's go for a walk outside. Will it be appreciated? I'm sure that will be appreciated by the students. But I think, my dear fellow colleagues, sometimes we get scared because we feel that we will be evaluated negatively by our other colleagues. What are they going to say? Wo kya bolenge? And in that process, we sometimes miss out on a lot of things in life. We miss out on things we could have enjoyed. I can give you my example. I was teaching environmental psychology, and I said, what better way? So I took the students out, and I said, you tell me what are the different things you see. So I know in the beginning, they were all laughing. The students were, they were like, oh my God, she doesn't know what she's doing. But I knew as a teacher that if it fails, next time I will take their class in the four walls. But how can I teach them environmental psychology sitting inside the four walls? And after an initial hiccup of 10-15 minutes, because students started running, from one direction to the other direction, even though they're masters level, but you students at the end of the day can be students. You make me a student right now, and I'll behave like, I'm in grade one. So, excuse me. So, but then, as a teacher, do I have the courage to do things differently? Or do I fear so much being evaluated by my students and by my colleagues also, that I just stopped doing it? And then I put a full stop to my creativity, because I'm very sure ye ho hi nahi sakta ki all of you don't get those creative ideas. But some of us take those creative ideas ahead, and others, kind of be like, "Arre chodo, rehne do, because pata nahi kya hoga." We fear so much about the result. We fear so much about the result of that we don't even start. But can you imagine this person, Rosenstein, or Mr. Desale, them knowing that he's going to win that prize? Do you think he knew that? He did not. Nobody knows until you have done it. So I think as a teacher, if we can try and fail, great idea. But let's try. If we have to fail, the idea is not to be an outstanding teacher. The idea, I think, let's make that idea that I have to be effective in making this process of learning valuable. If I can do that, if I take them out and I show them that this is how, this is what a tree looks like, that might sound silly, but when they see different trees outside and the different leaves, they get different impressions. But I think we stop ourselves more than anyone else does, and we think more about others than we think about ourselves. So just wanted to kind of, have that idea thrown in. Another interesting slide. कभी किसी ने ये वाले टीचर को देखा है? If you can see this teacher on the screen, no talking, no laughing, no smiling, no kind of pleasure in the class. मेरी class में आना है और बस चुप करके बैठ जाना है. Have you ever met such teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
You have, Mr. Jha? So, who likes to be in the company of teachers who's like, and I will tell you, there have been interesting studies where they say a teacher who could connect with the students at a personal level, who could bring some humor to the class, चाहे वो teacher did not have as much knowledge of the subject, students wanted to attend to the teacher. So imagine if students don't want to come to your class, how are you going to teach? If they're not excited, you might have the best of content, you might have the best of subject competence, you have written 50 papers, but if you're not able to translate that Dr. Rafat says that he has experienced such teacher in his childhood. Exciting. And they say people, whether they are small kids, whoever is a student, like even if you are a student right now, I have to ask you to give me that space to make you learn something. Because we are programmed in a manner where we are defensive. If somebody tries to teach us something, we don't always take it at the face value. For us, it is important to kind of be on the defense. It is a process of psychology. So if I want, let's say I'm very excited about my lecture, मैंने बहुत अच्छा तैयार किया है. If I want, then I need to create that space for my student where they at least want to come to my class. The next slide is very interesting, and I really want you to have a response to it. My request. Can you see this slide? So if there is an outstanding teacher, there must be a bad teacher, and pun intended. So there is nothing called bad teacher. No offense to anyone. There is only to keep it in a lighter side and some kind of humor intended. So do you think there are some qualities that are required to be a bad teacher as well? I really want you guys to respond to this one. And I want to have some fun in the class. Will anyone want to respond to this kindly? Or put it another way, what are the qualities that are required to be not a good teacher? इसका response तो बनता है. Dr. Rafat, would you want to say something to this? Oh, I've got a... Okay. Rimmel says by labeling students. Dr. Rimmel, thank you for saying that, because we are coming to that one. Very important point you have touched. By labeling students, by saying, these ones are the students who are good students or bad students, or making some kinds of stereotypes about students. That's a good response. Hanji, anyone else? Qualities, required to be not so good teacher. Dr. Shruti Agarwal. Shruti is one of my best friends, so I'm going to pick up on Dr. Shruti. By not taking the questions of the students well. Okay. What are some of the other kind of qualities, that evokes emotions in you? What other qualities you might think of? Dr. Rimmel, you've been very interactive, and I appreciate that. Beating. I hope that beating, because I know at least in India, corporal punishment we are done with. So beating definitely is not a good idea. Yeah. Okay, one more response. Oh, you experienced much. Oh, Dr. Rafat, seems like you've had some experience in your life. Humiliating, scolding, great responses, I guess. So, I think when we say that this is qualities of an outstanding or rather effective teacher, we also need to know that what are the qualities of a non-effective teacher. Dr. Jaspreet says being lazy. Yes, that could be one quality. Where you're not interested in the interacting with the students. I think very right. I really want you to think about this presentation. When you are when I'm gone, I really want you to at least think about, because I understand that life does not exist in bigger philosophies. Life actually exists in very little small things and small ideas and small concepts. So, a small concept. if I want to be an outstanding teacher, then what is outstanding and what is a teacher? And if this is what an outstanding teacher means, then there must be a non-outstanding teacher. So who is a non-outstanding teacher? I think that gives you ideas and feedback about yourself. Okay, so that was great response. Now, I think what really matters is your perspective about things. I hope everyone can see the screen because I'm going to show you a slide and tell me, what do you see? What do you see here? Can everyone see the screen? And is it clear? Can somebody say yes and no? Vaibhav, Dr. Jha, Dr. Anjani, elephant and squirrel. Nice. Okay, Dr. Rafat sees an elephant and a squirrel. I want everybody to respond to this, and there is no right and wrong answer. There is no right and wrong answer. We're talking about the perspectives here, because I think as teachers, we need to take different perspectives into account. Not clear. Yes, Dr. Jha. Snowfall. Oh, beautiful. I like that response. Elephant and squirrel, snowfall, black and white. Yes. More responses. Everybody, please. It'll be fun. I promise you it'll be fun. Can we have more responses, please? Ghosts. That's a good one. That almost looks like ghost, yes. Some more people, please jump in. You know, I can tell you 10 different things that I see. Let's see what others see. I mean, I know this is very vague picture, but in case, Rimal, what do you see? And Dr. Yadav, Dr. Nupur, what do you guys see? The ones who have not been, able to respond as much. Okay, so remember your chemistry class, yes. So if you see in this previous picture, it was so embedded that all of us were seeing it, snowfall. When I saw it for the first time, I actually saw a hand on the left side. And I also saw, a monkey and a cloud, all different pictures. But if you see, this is what is embedded. Do you see a calf in there? Do you see a calf?
Yes, ma'am.
It is fun, right? Yeah, it is fun. So see, so the first one was this. Nobody could really see a calf, but actually, some people can join the hidden dots and can connect, and for them it was a calf. So when next time you see this picture, isn't it easier for you to see a calf? Yes. So the slide which I wanted to make was perspectives matter. So that means different students in my class are going to perceive my teaching differently. For some of them, it will be very exciting. For some of them, it might not be as supportive. So my role as a teacher is to be able to appreciate the different perspectives that come with that. So let's see. The point that I will want to make is that we have a spectrum of students in the class, and those spectrum that implies that there will be high achievers and gifted students, super fast, who will do their work, and then either they will disturb others, or they will be bored. And then we have students who will be slow learners. So हमारी क्लास में दो there is one similar criteria for the admission, but not everybody in my class is at the same level. Some, as I said, are high achievers, and high achievers, how are they going to respond to a question? Oh, I got that, I know the answer. But the gifted child, they will say, I got the answer, but I have another question, and I have another question, and I have another question. And a creative learner, for them, they will be more interested, how did you reach at that point? What was happening? So the way in which they are going to perceive your questions is going to be very, very different. So I want my very dear colleagues to have kind of keep this in your mind when you go into your class, that it's a spectrum. And sometimes that little reminder when tomorrow you go to your class and you realize that not everybody responds in the same manner, is because they are different in the ways they process the questions, in the way they process their answers. So if I can keep, and this is what an outstanding, or rather an effective teacher keeps that in mind. When they go into the class, they know that because not all the students are alike, so my support material that I have to provide to my students have to be different. For some students you might do, and I totally understand that in bigger classes it can be quite a challenge, but if only I can identify those students, and when I'm preparing my courses, when I'm preparing my lessons, I can, for some students I have a kind of quizzes or worksheets. So I give it to different worksheets or different handouts to different students, and then try how does that how that impacts. So for my gifted children, I give them a worksheet so that they don't get bored. And I must share a very interesting fact with you. Many times gifted children are underachievers. Isn't this a very ironical statement, that gifted children are sometimes underachievers because after they have done their work, they don't know what to do next, and they get bored and they lose the track, and they don't want to continue because they don't have something challenging for them now. And in the process, they sometimes the teacher feels that the child is not paying as much attention, and the child is not serious, and the teacher might start labeling the child, and the student might just lose the track of the things. So not all the children who are underachievers are actually slow learners. Imagine a gifted child and a child who's high IQ placed with other children of lower, of average IQ, and having to do that work. So I think as a teacher, if I can identify and put some effort in identifying those children who are gifted and also who are slow learners, because the average takes care of themselves more or less, but the ones who are high, like gifted and high IQ, and the ones who are slow, they will require more more efforts on the part of the teacher to prepare worksheets for them or engage them more. Do you agree with this? Just write yes or no in the chat box. Do you agree with this? Can I have some responses? Pretty please. I'm waiting for a response. Dr. Jadhav, okay, yes. Thanks for your message. So remembering and identifying, that's what my role is. Now let's go to the next one, if you can get this. I want you to think about the qualities that are required to be an outstanding teacher. Now let's come back to this after we have made our reference point. I think there can be number of qualities, but I think as a teacher, I can place them into three categories. Knowledge, there are three that I have put, you can put as many. Personality of the teacher, and the skills. So knowledge essentially would imply, what is your subject competence? how good are at you in your subject. But you can be very good in your subject, but if you're not able to communicate that to your students, then that knowledge will not be as effective. An important thing, especially having worked in Northern America, in Canada for some years, I realized that people there, teachers or professionals, they network a lot. Something which we in India haven't done as much, or it is not appreciated as much. So I think, being able to one sec. Being able to translate my knowledge into an understandable thing is very important. And for that, if I have to network with other people, collaborate with other people from other disciplines, or my own discipline is important. And a while ago, maybe a decade or so ago, it was not really looked up to. Oh, वो तो networking कर रहे हैं, वो तो collaborate कर रहे हैं. That's the way they would use they would say, which was not very promising to hear. But if you really have to do that, it is important to network with people from your area of expertise, from other areas of expertise, because then you get to know what is happening around you also. And those collaborations can be very helpful in inspiring you and inspiring others. And the personality of the teacher, you can what would you mean by the personality of the teacher? I would want to hear it from you. You have a personality where you are non-judgmental. You don't judge people based on who they are. And there was again a study where they said that teachers mostly paid more attention to either good-looking students in the class, or the ones, and you can totally disagree with that, but I'm reporting what the study said. 4 categories they mentioned, and listen to this very carefully. The ones who are good-looking, the ones who are academically excellent, or the ones who are behaviorally excellent, and the ones who are troublemakers. So 4 categories go unnoticed. Do you agree? They said that teachers would, and the ones who are average, agree with this? This study, 4 kinds of students are more noticed: the ones who are good looking, the ones who are very well mannered behaviorally, very at their excellent behavior, the ones who are excellent at academics, or ones who are troublemakers. Is there any other category? I mean, then we miss out on a lot of other students, the ones who don't possibly are very intelligent as well, but stay in the average zone and will go unnoticed. So it is important for us to be to be able to identify them. Do you agree with this? Can somebody write that in the chat box? Or at least, did you hear that? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jaspreet. And now the skills required. When I say skills required, of course, communication is one of the skills which is very important. Let me be mindful of the time as well. We still have, I think, 14 minutes to go. What is my support material in the class? How do I organize my lecture? I'll give you one example and you tell me, or if you don't want to tell me, just think about it. What are you going to do in such a such a situation? So let's say you had planned your class in one fashion. You prepared your lecture and you knew that you are going to complete that topic in that class that day. And you realize that a student makes a stray remark, a stray remark, and takes the class in a different direction. So you had prepared your lesson plan, you wanted to finish that material, that concept that day, but now, and that happens very often, and suddenly a student makes a stray remark and the entire class goes into a different direction, and the teacher did not want the class to go into that direction. What is the teacher going to do? Or what is the teacher to do? What should a teacher do? The question is clear. इतना लिख दो आप chat box में. Is the question clear to you? Just write yes or no for the question, or I can repeat the question. Thank you, Dr. Jadhav. Okay. So think about it, you know that you had 1 hour or 50 minutes for your class, and you were so excited because you really loved that topic. But now a student makes a stray remark, and then everybody in the class, your class, wants to talk about that topic which that student has mentioned, and you don't want to, you had not planned for that. So what should a teacher do? Should the teacher, and every student in the class is excited about that. So should the teacher give in to the excitement and the enthusiasm of the class and give a free hand to the students and let them discuss and take it wherever it goes?
No, I think we have to ask the same question back to him, saying that, are you able to listen to me, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we have to ask the same thing to the question. I mean, to the student, saying that, how is that, whatever the stray remark that they are making, how is that connected to the topic? And then we can ask the same question back to him.
Okay. Good response. Anyone else will want to give a response to this? I think what Dr. Saab has said, I think that makes sense. So in an ideal situation, the idea is to find a third alternative. So there is something that student had mentioned, and this class gets very excited about that. And you will realize it gets more exciting when there is some issue of politics. They bring in an issue of religion or politics. Sometimes, let's say you're teaching a class of computer science or mechanical engineering or something which is very scientific, and suddenly there is a remark on farmers agitation. Now all the class is more interested in talking about farmers agitation because that is something going on, and for them it is very important to talk about that issue and not discuss about your the concept that you had prepared. And as I said, we do face that a lot of times. So what is a teacher to do then? If you are a skilled teacher, you will find you will find a third alternative, as he said. And what is the third alternative? The third alternative is to take the discussion in the direction it is going, but alongside the material that you had planned for the day, because you will want to finish whatever you had decided. So here the skill of the teacher is required. Here is the organization of the lesson plan. Here is the competence and the smartness of the teacher required, where they will want to carry that. You don't want to tell the student that you made a comment which was not required, but you don't want to encourage it in a fashion, or you don't want to discourage it so that the student feels disappointed. But finding a third alternative where you can also take that issue, bringing into account your own alongside your own material that you had planned for the day. Would that make more sense? Would that make more sense? It gives you an idea that you were very organized in your own thought process, and you paid attention to the students also, but at the same time paid importance to what you had planned for the day. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that? Yes or no? I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the person who responded. Who was that? Yes, Dr. Sanjeev.
Yeah.
I appreciate your response. Now I'm wondering, we have 10 minutes left, well, 8 minutes now. Should I continue, or do you think I can stop here? And if there is any questions that you would want to bring, or any observations, or just a little sharing, because I also have a session with you guys tomorrow in the morning, so I can continue this alongside what I had planned. Because again, the idea is not to bombard you with information, but the idea is to shake you up a little bit. What would you guys want? Let me see. I have somebody say something in the chat box. Okay. Dr. Jadhav says we can continue. Okay, one of the most important things, I guess, is having non-judgmental attitude. I wanted to show you a video for this, but it will not be finished in 8 minutes. Let me try. Okay. Can everyone listen to the video and watch it at the same time? Can you please say yes or no? There is no sound. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me not go over this video because this is really an exciting video and I don't want to, if there is a hitch, if you guys can't hear it, let me fix it and I'll show this video. I promise I'm going to show this video to you tomorrow morning because this is one of the most exciting videos. So let's save it for tomorrow. And we can discuss this concept in the morning and, we have 5 minutes. Let me wind this up. All right, so... Okay, so any questions from this session? Any observations from this session? I will really encourage it and I'll really appreciate it. I know whatever is left, we are going to take that in the morning tomorrow so that it seems like there's a continuity in what we were doing. And, if there is a take-home message, in case you, well, if I should, I think the take-home message is that don't be scared of trying new things. Don't be scared of the judgments of the others. Don't lose yourself in the process of doing something which is novel, something you have not tried before. Because our only failure is when we don't try and we think, we feel judged. So this video is about judgmental attitude. Again, a great video. But, when we are judging others, we also judge ourselves. We also feel that somebody else is going to tell me, oh, this is not the way. We have always been teaching in one direction, in one manner. So you should not do anything which is new. But if you see, almost all the outstanding effective teachers had done things differently. They have done things in a perspective that was never done before, and they achieved results. They had results. But while they were doing it, they had no idea. But they were confident that whatever they were doing was in the benefit of the students. That was, they knew that their intention was to help the students, and the students somewhere got helped as well. So, that's my little hope and prayer for you guys, that don't be scared, don't be afraid of trying new things. You'll fail, and that's about it. Nothing more can happen.
Thank you so much,
very
ma'am.
much. And thank you. I know in the beginning you guys took some time, but then you started interacting, so I'm glad.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a great session. It was a great informative and motivational session as well. I would like to see your tomorrow session as well, because I want to watch the video which you are going to show us tomorrow. So waiting for your tomorrow's session. It was a great session. Hope to. Hope to see many more lectures in coming future, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much and have a good day, all of you. Do one thing differently today.
So this was a
Can I sign up?
session. We would be having participant. We would be having a next session at 1:45. So we would be having a 45 minutes break. So I request you all to join at 1:45. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Can I sign out now? Dr. Navdeep, can I sign out?